Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over Wukong, the most popular Warframe in the game. Wukong is extremely popular for two reasons. He's very tanky and he's very mobile, but I decided to build on that and make it even better. If you like this video, be sure to leave it a like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below what you think of this build. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Like I said at the beginning of the video, Wukong is extremely popular for two reasons. He's extremely mobile and he's extremely tanky, but he's also extremely easy to build. Now, the build you're looking at right now is actually a 5-forma build because I decided to improve it before I made this video. If you'd like a easier, low forma cost build, I will show it here. Let's start with the aura and why power strength is not important on Wukong. Wukong has 4 abilities, minus the subsume here, that all benefit from power strength. However, in my opinion, power strength is kind of a non important thing to build into because power strength only affects the health of the clone, in this case. Now, if you're going into endgame content, you don't need a big, thick, tanky clone because they're so easy to recast anyway. And ever since Wukong's nerfs, it's just not as good as it used to be. As far as Cloudwalk, the health meter percent is a non-factor. You can instantly recast this ability just like his one and get all your health back by moving around as well. Defy is another thing. The armor increase is actually capped at 1500, so having that armor multiplier is super redundant. If you're in endgame content, you're going to get that 1500 armor in like 2 bullets from the enemies. The reason his range is so low is because his 1 doesn't benefit from it, his 2 doesn't benefit from it, but his 3 does. Now, this actually goes back kind of into the power strength thing. You do not need to build for the ground sweep at the end of his Defy. It is extremely pointless for this build. It's not what we're running, and even if we were, I don't think it's very good. The last reason is why we're making this video. Null Star. Null Star is Nova's first skill. It provides DR to your health that goes up to 90%. The fact that this is subsumable is mind-blowing to me. However, there is a catch. This thing scales off duration and nothing else. The range is something that you definitely don't want to mod for because the more particles you hold onto, the longer your DR will last. And that is why our range is so low, is because we don't want these particles to leave Wukong too early. You are capped at 90% DR. However, with this build, you are able to achieve 21 stacks of Null Star. Now it is capped at 19, giving you 90%. But those extra 2 are freebies, allowing you to have 90% just a little bit longer. If you want to add Archon shards to improve your ability duration, you absolutely can, and take this build even further. That's totally up to you. Now you see 321%, but adding Multificiency brings us to 357%. With Multificiency, that gives us over 90 seconds of 1500 armor. It also gives us around almost 7 seconds of Cloudwalker, and like I said before, 21 stacks of Null Star. This build is maximizing duration as much as possible. The Forma cost is 5, but like I said, you could run a cheaper build. As far as what the other Arcane is, it's totally preference. I chose Arcane Avenger because if I'm using a frame that's just extremely tanky, then I'm going to want a frame that's going to benefit my weapons. Alright, we get it. Shut up. Show us the build. I know. Alright, so right here, I'm just going to spawn some corrupted Eximus Heavy Gunners. I've got my Codex out. I'm not even going to shoot. Now, like I said in the video, this build is not going to just work if you just sit there like Revenant. You have to keep moving. That's the beauty of Wukong. So when you do get low, you pop into your cloud and start moving around. You have all this extra health regen. You keep your stacks of your Null Star, and you just survive. Now, as you see, I am getting knocked over like crazy. I am not running Prime Sure-Footed. I highly recommend that you put it on. I just have it on because you're not going to face this many enemies that are going to knock you down like this. Plus, if you feel like you're going to get knocked down, you can obviously go inside of your Defy ability. But as you see, I'm getting low, so I'm just going to kind of move away. I'm going over here just for a little bit of energy so I can just keep showing you how the build works. Pop your Null Star, pop your Defy, get all this DR, get all this armor, and you just tank away. Like I said, it's so nice that Wukong is an extremely tough tank, but he's extremely mobile. In fact, second to only Grendel. I know, fat boy. How is that possible? If you want to see a video about that, leave a comment. Now, bear in mind, you're only going to be popping your cloud for 2 reasons. One, to regen your health, or get to the next objective. One thing is you might have noticed is I haven't even popped my clone yet, so I'll do that now. Now, here... Okay, well, he just got knocked off. Now, the clone doesn't offer literal DR in the sense that he literally reduces the damage you take, but he can reduce the damage you take because the enemies are shooting him instead of you. One thing I forgot to mention throughout this whole build is Wukong has one of the coolest passives in the game. Adding to his survivability, he actually has 3 lives. Every time you die, you get a random buff. It could be double resource, it could be extra crit, it could be even invisibility. His passive allows you to gain 3 extra lives. So even if you do somehow die, forget to pop your cloud, whatever, you're totally fine. Now you're probably thinking, why are you running this? Just run Eclipse or some sort of armor strip to just kill these guys. Wukong's tanky enough already. You know, you got a point there. However, I like to use Null Star because Wukong is just one of those frames in the game that can actually utilize this much duration because not a lot of frames can. And as you see, this is 20 corrupted Eximus heavy gunners. You are never going to see this many in one place. I just chose these because they're quite tough and it really demonstrates how strong the survivability of this build is. As I'm just walking around, eating all of their damage, all their status effects. Even when I'm getting knocked down, it's not that bad. As far as what weapon you're going to use with Wukong here, or this build, it's completely preference, but I highly recommend some of the new Incarnon weapons that dropped the last couple of weeks. They're extremely good. In fact, I've made quite a lot of videos about them on my channel, so if you like this build and want to see more, go take a look at those and try them yourself. Thank you so much for watching. That's going to bring us to the end of the video. If you like this video, consider subscribing. I'm going to be doing more Warframe builds and weapon reviews moving forward for Warframe. I also wanted to mention that we just recently hit 1,000 subscribers, and I couldn't be more grateful. Obviously, I have to give credit to the fact that Duviri Paradox just dropped, and people are looking up Warframe content, and a lot of videos are being made, so you know, I'm part of the algorithm, but nonetheless, over 1,000 of you have actually decided to stick around by subscribing, and for that, I'm extremely grateful. Once again, thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Peace.